put the gun back into the bureau and shut the drawer. No, not that way. Louise would not suffer that way. It was very important that this thing have, above all, duration. Duration through imagination. How to prolong the suffering, how first of all to bring it about. Well, he paused long enough to hear the sound of children run by swiftly on the street below. By the sound of the children, you knew the calendar day. By their screams, you knew what evening it was. October, the last day of October, with cut pumpkins and white bone masks and the smell of dropped candle wax. Again, he caught the long look of thought and deliberation he gave himself in the mirror. He had never liked October. But it was different tonight. Tonight, there was a feeling of autumn coming to last 1,000,000 years. There would be no spring. When questioned about her marriage, psychologist Dr. Joyce Roberts commented, "My husband and I would never consider divorce. Murder sometimes, but never divorce." So perhaps Dr. Roberts' husband should have been investigated for her death in 2013. In Ray Bradbury's short story October Game, we are witness to a very dark domestic situation. Although the characters are fictional, the presence of evil is very much real, reminding us that playing games isn't always fun. October Game by Ray Bradbury. Louise had managed to be in every other room save the room he was in today. It was her very fine way of intimating, "Oh, look, see how busy I am. So busy that when you walk into one room, there's something I always need to be doing in another room. Just see how I dash about." For a while, Louise had played a little game with him, a nasty, childish little game. When she was in the kitchen, he came to the kitchen saying, "I need a glass of water." For a moment, standing there drinking his water, "Oh, I must light the pumpkins." And she rushed to the living room to make the pumpkins smile with light. He came after, smiling, "I must get my pipe." "Oh, the cider." And she rushed to the dining room. "I'll check the cider," he said. But when he tried falling, she ran to the bathroom and locked the door. He stood outside the bathroom door, laughing strangely and senselessly, his pipe gone cold in his mouth. There was a mouse rustle in the hall. Marion appeared in the doors. "How do I look, Papa?" "Oh, just fine." From under the mask, blonde hair showed. From the small skull sockets, blue eyes smiled. He sighed. Marion and Louise, the two silent announcers of his virility, his dark power. What alchemy had there been that took the dark of a dark man and bleached the black hair and brown eyes? As a firm rebuke to him, Louise had produced a child in her own image. The doctor shook his head and said, "I'm sorry, sir. Your wife will never have another child. This is the last one." "I wanted a boy," he said 8 years ago. Louise had not wanted a child anyway, not in the first place. She had been frightened of the idea of birth. She had expected to die with the forced child. But Louise had lived, and in triumph the day he came to the hospital, her eyes were cold. "I'm alive," they said, "and I have a blonde daughter. Just look." There was a water tub in the center of the living room, waiting with a sack of apples nearby for dunking to begin. The house was filled with rich, syrupy sweets. All that was needed was the catalyst, the inpouring of children, the sweets to vanish, the halls to echo with fright or delight. It was all the same. Now the house was silent with preparation. just a little more than that. There was a mad ringing of the bell below. There were shouts and hilarity. Louise was below taking cloaks. He walked to the top of the stairs. He hesitated. Where had it gone wrong? Why didn't he just turn, pack a suitcase, and then leave? No. Not without hurting Louise as much as she had hurt him. Divorce wouldn't hurt her at all. It would simply be an end, a dumb indecision. If he thought divorce would give her pleasure in any way, he would stay married to her the rest of his life just for damn spite. No, he must hurt her. Figure some way, perhaps, to take Marion away from her. Yes, that was it. That would hurt most of all. To take Marion. Hello down there! Louise did not look up. The children shouted, waved as he came down, happy in his presence. Then the doorbell stopped ringing. The pink faces were wiped dry from the apple bobbing, and he cried, hush! Follow me. Tiptoeing towards the cellar, the children shouted, squealing after him, the cellar, the tomb of the witch. He made a mock shiver. Abandon all hope, ye who enter here. The parents chuckled. One by one, the children headed down. They sat in a vast circle in the dark cellar, with Louise down at the far end and he near the stairs. He peered but saw nothing. The entire program from here on out was to be enacted in the dark. There was a child scampering, a smell of damp cement, and the sound of the wind out in the October stars. Now! Quiet. The witch is dead. Ooh, said the children. The witch is dead. She has been killed. And here is the knife she has been killed with. He handed over the knife. With small scream after scream, the knife went down and around the circle. The witch is dead, and this is her head. More screams followed by another and another. Oh, I know how this game is played, some child cried happily in the dark. He gets some old chicken guts from the icebox, and then he says, these are her innards, and then, hush! You'll spoil everything. The witch came to harm, and this is her arm. The witch cut apart, and this is her heart. 6 or 7 items now moving through the laughing, trembling dark. Louise spoke up. Marion, don't be afraid. It's only play. She's all right. She's not afraid. Everybody was talking. Marion? Marion? Everybody quieted. Marion, answer me. Are you afraid? Marion? Where's Marion? She was here, said a boy. Maybe she's upstairs. Marion! 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 Turn on the light, said one of the adults. The items stopped passing. The children and adults sat with the witch's items in their hands. No! No! Please don't turn on the lights! Please! Please don't turn on the lights! Please don't! Everyone sat suddenly suspended in the frozen task of this October game. One boy cried, I'll go upstairs and look. And he ran upstairs around the house calling, Marion! 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 Over and over until at last coming down the stairs into the waiting, breathing cellar and saying to the darkness, I can't find her. Then some idiot turned on the lights.